Hi, I'm Luke Yoder with DuraEdge Products. Today we're coming at you from the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. I want to thank Matt Eggerman and staff for having us out here today and being such gracious hosts. Today we're going to go over some moisture management techniques that are related to the infield skin, pitcher's mound, and home plate area. Nail dragging is one of the most beneficial cultural practices you can do to your infield, and timing is everything. So here we are about 8:30 in the morning. At the end of the day yesterday after the game, this infield was properly watered, which usually involves a flood. So they came out, watered the infield, left standing water, and that gives the entire night for that water to soak down with minimal evaporation. The nail drag that you've seen out here is a Beacon Tough Drag, and it's got 2 rows of 40 penny nails. There's all sorts of nail drags out there that you can make or purchase. Some of them have 6 rows of 40 penny nails staggered at 2 inches or 1.5 inches, and that's going to get every 1/8 of an inch. The benefits of nail dragging over regular dragging with a mat drag or a broom of some sort is that you're displacing the conditioner. When you displace the conditioner and you get that nail in there with the perfect moisture, you're actually smearing the clay and packing it back into the cleat marks or any impressions that was left from the game before. The most important thing about nail dragging is timing, and that's why you come out and check your infield in the morning, again, following a nice proper flood the night before, and when you have that ideal moisture, that's when you go out. What is that? It's when you're walking around on it, you're not seeing moisture come up. You can take your thumb and press hard into your infield surface and make an indentation. That's the perfect conditions for nail dragging, so that's why you take advantage of that first thing in the morning. When the nail dragging is finished, we'll go through the proper time to come in with the mat drag to go over that, to bust up any chunks and settle it before the next watering. He literally, grooved in about every 1/8 1/4 of an inch of this infield. Then you can take a key and it goes in and out easily and cleanly. You can even bend that key around and there's no chunks coming out. So this would simulate a player's spike, in and out easily and cleanly. So again, taking this material and smearing it around and depositing it into the cleat marks in your depressions is the job of the nail drag. You can see here, this is ideal moisture. You'll see the color turn from that darker conditioner to that lighter conditioner, and that's going to be your ideal time to come in with a mat drag to bust up some of these clumps, settle them down prior to the watering to set up for the game. So now that we've had the top surface dry enough to take the screen drag on it, this is the next step. So again, we nail drug first, gave it time to air out, did a quick broom drag to turn it over, which isn't always necessary. But this one mesh flexible drag with a level bar in the front is ideal for coming out at this time, busting up chunks, settling them down below the conditioner, and also at the same time with that level bar, as it goes around, it will slightly pull from high and deposit into low. So it's a good way to continue to keep your grade on your infield, as well as bust up any clay chunks and settle them down for a nice smooth finish prior to your next heavy water before the game. If you've got good moisture throughout your profile, you should be able to insert it 4 to 6 inches into your DuraEdge infield mix, whether it's classic, collegiate, or professional, and see the moisture in there. If it's going in, you've got moisture. If it's not, it's usually too firm and you probably need to flood more at night. But again, defining good moisture, what is that? That's when you can feel it in there. It's not sticking to your hands all the way through the top 4 to 6 inches. And that's a great way to check your moisture manually. If you've got access to a moisture meter, it's a nice tool to have as opposed to manually checking your moisture. You would insert it just about all the way in to check your base moisture. Ideally maintaining between 25 and 30% at a 3 to 4 2-inch depth and around 20% in the top inch. This tool is also good to show your staff. It's one of the hardest things to do is explain to your crew how much you want to put water on it, when to put water on. If you can give them certain numbers to go by to maintain, it's a nice tool to have for them to walk out, take readings to determine where their moisture percentage needs to be. So the water that you see going on here right now is happening following a nail drag in the morning under ideal moisture conditions when it was flooded the night before. We've come in, we've used the mat drag to bust up any chunks to settle them down, and now he's going out with a nozzle that's going to be more of a finesse nozzle, something that we're not really looking to flood. We're going to put a decent shine on it, and something like this Hot Shot is pretty effective at that, to allow you to deliver water exactly where you need it, not too much at once. So this would be a decent tool to use with your 1-inch hose when you're maintaining the moisture throughout the day and not necessarily having to flood your profile. You know, one of the most important ones is something that's going to have heavy flow. This will put up to 60 gallons per minute. At 60 gallons a minute, you can effectively and pretty quickly flood your infield. For pre-game watering or during the day when you're just trying to maintain the moisture on the top, knowing that you have ideal moisture in the profile, you could pick something like this Hot Shot, or even something that's going to be less, 10 to 24 gallons a minute, something that's going to be more of a lighter water, that wouldn't push your conditioner as much and just be that finishing touch when all you're trying to do is color your conditioner and you've already got that base. So the fact that moisture management is so important, you really want to set yourself up with the right tools to be able to do that in an efficient and effective way without spending more time than necessary. To invest in a 1-inch quick coupler, so you've got a 1-inch line behind your mound, and a 1-inch hose is going to give you proper flow in order to get as much water out as possible. Besides manual watering your infield skin, there are other options, and that's using automatic irrigation, if you will. So skin heads, hot shots, quick shots are another term for these heads. These heads can be strategically placed around your infield skin, maybe one between first and second, one behind second, and one between second and third. You can also put up to 5 or 6 along your arc that are targeting your skin. High-speed rotors are preferred for those. Something like an I-42 quick shot head, it's not going to sit in one spot too long. This is a fairly effective way to get water out there, at best maybe 75% of your surface. It's going to reduce the amount of time you have to stand out there with the hose, and then you come back and just touch up as needed. If you don't have these skin heads in your field, another option is to adjust your 180 heads along your edges or your perimeter to 360 and run those, so you're going to get not only the grass watered, but the dirt as well. One thing to be careful with this is it's a good idea to be here when that's happening in case the head sticks or doesn't turn, so you're not putting too much water in one spot. A tarp is a very important tool, not for just keeping rain off, but for holding moisture in. Once this is applied on there, then there's nothing to worry about until taking it off for BP or the game. When you're choosing your tarp, if you're having difficult making a decision or you're not sure of the size, your folks at the Ewing Sports Field team have a lot of different options for tarps when it comes to poly versus vinyl, custom sizes, as well as printing logos on there.